Nashville, Winnipeg. This is a great hockey game here. Nashville, Winnipeg, 9-6, big time battle. First place in the Central. Both of these teams hot on the trails of that first place spot. Winnipeg minus 125, home favorites here. And the total, 5.5, shaded a little bit to the over, minus 120. Some sixes out there as well. So again, this is one of those games where we've got to mention SBRodds.com. Make sure you are looking at that and using that on a daily basis to get the best number possible with every single game, including this one, especially if you like the total. Winnipeg, could you have had a better and more impressive weekend than you guys did? You go into St. Louis, do a tap dance on them, shut them out, and then you end up beating up the Dallas Stars on the very next night in Big D. Very impressed by the Winnipeg Jets. Continue to be impressed. They get Paul Stastny, which tells you they're not screwing around. Okay, Joe Morrow's not going to move the needle. He's just a depth defenseman, but at least it's a little more depth on the blue line. Winnipeg gets in that trade as well with Montreal. So it's a situation where Winnipeg is showing that they're serious about being not only a playoff team this year, but a team that can maybe do some damage in the playoffs and be a contender in the Western Conference. I think they are. When you've got the offensive weapons you have, when you have the power play that you have, when you're playing better defensive hockey like they are, and getting goaltending that's been for the most part very reliable from Connor Hellebuck, why can't you be a contender? So I have no qualms saying Winnipeg has a chance to win the Stanley Cup. Not going to say they will, but I'm absolutely going to say they got a chance. Anybody has a chance when you get in the playoffs. You just get in the playoffs as one of the 16 teams, and anything can happen. I stand by that, and that's why a team right there all by itself, a team like Winnipeg, has a chance. Nashville, going on the road, tough place to win here, facing this Winnipeg Jets team. From a side perspective, I'm going to probably stay far away from this game. From a viewing perspective, I will be right there watching this game. See, I don't need to have a bet on a game to watch it, and that's what I want to stress to people. Some of the games that I love watching the most, I don't have a penny on it in the NHL or in any sport, but I watch the game because I'm a fan. I enjoy good quality competition, so I'm going to watch the game because that's the sports fan in me. I don't need to have big money on a game to watch it. I'm not one of those people. So I will be watching Nashville, Winnipeg, even though it's not likely to be a game that's on my card tonight. But it is on the card of Andrew McGinnis. It is on the card of Dana Lane, this hockey game tonight. Start with Dana. Nashville, Winnipeg. Probably the game of the night, if you have to ask me. Maybe say Vegas, LA as well. That's a pretty good hockey game if it's anything like it was last night. But Nashville, Winnipeg is too. Should be a good one. Dana, what do you see here in this game?
Well, certainly in both arenas, the intensity level is going to be jacked up. You can guarantee that it will be at T-Mobile Arena tonight. The LA Kings fans weren't too happy that a few Vegas Golden Knights fans made their way there. In fact, there was reports of a BLA chant in the middle of Staples Center. I think I would have given anything to be part of that. But and of course at the MTS Center tonight, you know, that is one of the most intimate atmospheres in the NHL, and those fans have got to be jacked up. I mean, they thought, the reality is that they probably had a chance to get to the Stanley Cup Finals before yesterday, and they certainly do now after getting Stastny from the Blues. So that place is going to be jacked up tonight for sure. So like you said, Ian, two awesome games. You can't go wrong with either one, and fortunately, you don't have to overlap too much with them. But like I said yesterday, both teams have made moves in the trade at the trade deadline or before the trade deadline. Of course, Ryan Hartman went to Nashville, Stastny went to Winnipeg. There's a lot of moving parts again, guys, and you know how I feel about moving parts. But when you have two teams that have a lot of moving parts, I think that equates into a lot of offense. And I think that it's going to create a lot of opportunity as guys get used to playing with each other. And it's not only new guys coming in, it's also guys shifting from one line to another, or maybe getting more or less time on ice than they're used to. And I think there's a lot of havoc, and I think it's that's going to be something that's going to point to the over. Since the Predators scored one goal against the Vegas Golden Knights on the 16th of January, they've averaged over 3.5 or almost 3.5 goals per game in their next 18 games. They scored 19 in their last 4, and the only other Western Conference team to score more than that is the Vegas Golden Knights. So certainly offensively, they're right where you want to be if you're betting an over in this. And now now that they square off against one of the league's most or elite teams and the Winnipeg Jets, and they're probably just going to get stronger as the year goes on. But both teams get a decent amount of shots off per game, so you can guarantee that Rene and Hellebuck are going to be busy tonight. But if you lose this bet, if this game goes under, that means both of those goaltenders had phenomenal nights. Got to get the 5.5, as you said, Ian. But I have no problem going over the 5.5 when I get that.
All right, over 5.5, not 6, 5.5. Get it. Nashville, Winnipeg for Dana Lane tonight. And it's out there. It's minus 115 over 5.5 at Bookmaker right now. Chris, they've got an over 5.5 right now. Minus 113 even at Heritage. So, again, there's no excuses. If you like over in this game, get that 5.5. No way you should be taking 6 when there's clearly 5.5s out there. That's why you got to have multiple outs, multiple accounts at multiple books. I say that, a bunch of people on this channel say that over and over again. It's very, very important. We're not saying that to be, to drive people up the wall. I mean, as much as we say it, we're saying it for a reason because it's important. It's going to be the difference between a win and a loss, or a loss and a push at the end of the day in a lot of these games. So Nashville, Winnipeg, over 5.5 for Dana in this game. Andrew, your thoughts on this Preds-Jets titanic battle tonight between these two rivals?
Well, I'll tell you what, Ian, I hate going against Mr. Totals, Dana Lane. And today I'm looking at these games right now, and I'm looking at the record between these two teams and the way they've played against each other. And for me, I'm always saying this, guys, and I think this really works. The sentiment really works between these two teams right now. It's two big teams, two really promising teams going into the playoffs. And I think this is a big matchup. Both goaltenders are playing pretty hot right now. And I think that when you have two teams that can score high, I understand that. But sometimes two teams that can score high, it's a big game that both teams are probably going to go pretty deep in the playoffs. When they clash together, that often means low scoring in my eyes. And I think when I see that 6 number, I'm comfortable at either the under 6.5. And I think the worst case scenario I'll get out of this is a push. And I think that just with looking at these stats alone, the total has gone under in 4 of Nashville's last 6 games on the road, but it's gone under in 8 of Nashville's last 12 games and playing on the road against Winnipeg. I mean, one thing that I think that it gets really underrated, I think that a lot of people know that Pekka Rinne is a good goalie, but they don't really realize exactly how much he really does for this Nashville team. I mean, we always talk about how strong their defense is, and I'm always talking about their depth and how much I love it and how much I think Nashville's going to do so well this year, guys. But he is literally one of those goalies, guys, that he can bail his team out numerous times in one game and make it look effortless, literally effortless. And that's almost become something that Nashville is starting to expect. And same thing on the other side with Connor Hellebuck. I think it's the same thing with them. But one thing that's also kind of a good point to look at for this under is the depth down the middle. And I'm always talking about that with Nashville, with Johansson, with Turris, with Bonino, with Sissons, and those guys defensively as well. But if you look at it, picking up Paul Stastny was a big thing. You've noticed a lot on trade deadlines. A lot of teams aren't even always picking up those top line guys. The first line guy is going to make or break your team. It's often those third line, even fourth line missing pieces to complete your team. And Paul Stastny coming in is a big guy to come in and take care of things defensively. Playing on a line with Nikolai Ehlers and Patrick Laine tonight. Of course, Brian Little, the center on the second line. And of course, the main man, Mark Scheifele. So I think that collectively together, guys, with the history between these two teams, what they have, in their head-to-head, I just think that when you see these two great teams going head-to-head together, it just screams under the total to me. I mean, both teams could go out and light the scoreboard, but I just think that with the way these goaltenders are, how strong they are, I think this is an important game. And, one thing that, Dana always says that always sticks with me is that sometimes players do get up and they're a little more excited for certain games. And I really, truly do think this is one of those games. This Jets versus Predators game, guys, is one that they're marking on their calendars, one that they're thinking, wow, this actually is a pretty good game. This is a pretty big game to get up for. So this isn't really my strongest play on the day, but look, the under is kind of hitting a lot on the road right now for Nashville, and I think I'm going to roll with it. So under 6 for me, guys.
All right, under 6, and there you go. See, Andrew's smart. He likes the under, and he's getting it at 6. Dana's smart because he likes the over, and he's getting it at 5.5. But he's getting good numbers. Dana's getting a good number on his bet. Andrew's getting a good number on his bet. So again, stress that. If you like the under, get the 6. If you like the over, get the 5.5 here in this game between Nashville and Winnipeg. It's going to make all the difference in the end.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.